Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Let's get back to the market because cryptos are still rolling. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Miles Franklin. The link will be down below in the description. When you make your purchase, make sure you use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they'll take care of you. If you have any additional questions, you can reach us over here at this phone number or over here at this particular email. For all orders over $10,000, reach out by email and we'll make sure that you get a great deal. So come on over to Miles Franklin and add to your precious metal inventory.
Come on now. It goes back to what I've been saying for the longest time. It's massively undervalued. I think it's still the most undervalued asset in the history of the world. So I tell people, if you have to invest in one thing, it's silver. I love it. I actually love silver. I'm in love with silver. Like, I look at like bars of silver, my own bars of, I even have a few little coins laying around here on my desk, and I rub them all over my body.
Nice.
I still love that today. Look, we see the markets going up. I heard there was a record on S&P 500, and I keep telling everybody, you can't believe the data. You can't believe it. It's all fake. It truly is fake. There is a bigger plan behind everything that is happening. It's all bullshit. But that doesn't mean you can't take advantage of an opportunity to make a little money off of this BS inflated data that they're using for the stock market, for the job numbers and all that. But instead of listening to me, I'm going to let you listen to an expert who will explain things in detail that you should appreciate. Let's get into this. Here we go. Cryptos are still running. Bitcoin at $66,942.06. Ethereum's at $3,881.53. Solana's at $145.37. XRP's up to 62 cents. Cardano is 74 cents. Dogecoin at 15 cents. Shiba is at 4032. Polkadot is at $10.56. And Litecoin is at $88. It would seem to me that would run along with the rest, but it hasn't really budged very much. If you look over here, all the coins are at or near its record highs. XRP's in the middle, of course, not surprised. Dogecoin, Shiba, starting to get near its highest points. But look at them all over to the right. These are 52-week averages. The ones on the right is its highest level ever, and the ones on the left is the lowest over the past 52 weeks. Most cryptos are pretty much all the way over to the right, with an exception to Litecoin, who's barely to the halfway mark. Terra Luna 3019. Now, I found out somebody was nice enough to point this out to me, so I appreciate it. They said, Pimpy, there is no more Satama coin. They moved everybody's coins over to SATA Chain. And sure enough, I went on my wallet and found out that they have. So SATA Chain is now at 2012, which is much better than where it was on my Satama coin. Looking really good. Gold at $2,168.30. Still climbing. I know a lot of people jumped in at the high end, the last run, and then seen a small dip, and then it was stagnant for a while. But you can see right now, gold at a record high. $2,168.30 per ounce. Silver's at $24.60. It's getting up there near that $25 mark again. Let's see what happens, because usually when it gets around there, they do whatever it takes to bring that price back down. But for now, it is at $24.60 an ounce. Speaking of the man that loves to rub himself all over with silver, I heard Greg today talk about something that people should be aware of. It's something I've spoken about many times. So if you don't take my word for it, I want you to listen to what Greg says, because it's important. Forget about what the markets are doing. If you could jump in and jump out, and if you magically could time it right, and you can make some money off it, fine. But gold and silver is where you should be. So let's listen to what he has to say, because it's something I spoke about, but at least let somebody that people think is an expert explain to you the same thing. Let's get into this.
I think we can all agree, at least I hope we can. And if you have a different perspective on this, it's fine. But I want to hear from you. I think we can all agree that the spot we are in right now is not because of a comedy of errors. This is not a mistake. Everything that we're seeing here is being driven. It's a and I mean long-term plan by central banks working together. We're going to talk more about that in a moment, to bring the world economy to its knees, to bring the consumer to their knees, to dismantle this system only to issue in a new one. Now, as you are well aware, the bad economic news doesn't stop. Round after round after round of it. We got a whole bunch of it today. And we've covered right here on this blog, the faster the economy free falls, the higher the market's going to go. Well, guess what just happened today? A new record high for the S&P 500. This doesn't surprise a single person, I am certain of it, that follows this blog. You and I, again, we are so far ahead of the curve, it's almost scary. I mean, people would think we have some kind of like inside information. We don't. Okay. You and me, we just study this stuff around the clock. We're raising our awareness. We're putting the pieces together. We know who our enemy is. We know what they want. It's very, very simple.
Oh, no. My listeners know as well. Between the two channels, I spoke about this years ago. I'm on the same page as Craig. I warned everybody that this data, these numbers that they share, is just BS. And I warned everybody about that long ago as well. We agree. We're on the same page. We're on the same team.
And that should scare you a little bit, because the setup here, they want to create madness. They would love to see civil war. You understand? The U.S. military has been armed to the teeth and then some. That was President Trump's job. All right. His job wasn't to start wars. His job was to build the military to what it is today, and he did a damn good job at it. It's the truth. And now this machine, this war machine that has been built, is going to be pointed everywhere and inward. So they are hoping to drive people out of their minds come the election selection. You know my take on this. The armies on either side are already being built up. You know that. This is being set up. They want to steal more of our liberties and freedoms. And they're hoping for a violent uprising. Okay. There are other ways to deal with this. All right. But they are hoping who are they? It's the Federal Reserve who's funding this entire thing. And along with other central banks working together, no comedy of errors here, to destroy it all, to issue a completely new system, one of maximum control. We, the people here, I say there's a lot more of us than there are them. Okay. If we could raise public awareness as to what's going on, I think we could do this very peacefully. Again, if we can stop, we need to prevent central banking, period. It has to end. If we are living under the rulership of these central banks, and Trump ain't taking away the Federal Reserve. In fact, he's talking about making it stronger here as he's campaigning. Listen to what he's saying behind the scenes here. And what's coming directly out of his mouth. He wants to put a super dove and replace Powell in there so rates will come down. Already talking about how the dollar is too strong. You're going to be kidding me. This is the same stuff we heard last time. What is this going to be, a continuation here? And the current freak, this guy doesn't know if he's alive or dead, asleep or awake. He has no idea. None of what's going on. And I think that's pretty evident. You understand? I mean, it doesn't matter. I've been telling you a million times. You could put my beautiful Evel Knievel doll here. Hello, Evel. You can put him behind the Resolute desk. It can make no difference. It's a puppet. It's a spokesperson that is meant to keep people locked in some kind of twisted mind screw on a grand scale. Now let's talk about some of the economic news that we got today. Are you ready for this? Okay. Now, none of this is going to surprise you, but it sure surprised the economists that were polled. So the U.S. trade deficit widens another 5.1% in January, the largest in 9 months. Really? No one saw that one coming. Really? No, we did. 217,000 people last week filed for unemployment claims. Now let's talk about, how about this? You're going to love this one. Does this year, does that mean anything to you? Yeah, the scamdemic. Layoffs rise to their highest for any February since the scamdemic. Wow. Now let's see. Who was it again? Yeah, you and me. You and me. We called this at the end of last year. Please look at the videos that I did at the end of last year. I said this was going to be a major theme. It's one of the things that we covered here in this freak show of a year. Expanding war, more deceptions, more distractions, and more layoffs. And this is not done. Okay, people are being, but this is how strong our economy is. The freak tonight, let me try to do it. I can't even do it. Help me, someone, please. Anyway, the thing tonight is going to tell you how strong our economy is. Do you think you should bring this up?
I love this guy. Look, he's going to explain why it is you should be in gold and silver. The same thing I said. Stop believing in markets, crypto markets, stock markets. But look, there is a window of opportunity for you to make some money out there. But they are planning on everybody going all in, and they're going to pull a rug out from underneath your feet. You need to have physical gold and silver out of the system. But let's keep going.
You think he's going to bring up the fact that debts and deficits are hyper-ballooning faster than we've ever seen in history? You think this is just by accident? Jeffrey, you know what I'm talking about. Thank you, bro. You know exactly what I'm saying. But does this surprise you? No, it doesn't, because you knew ahead of time. It's unbelievable. Now, I want to talk more about the banking issues that we're seeing, but I also want to bring this to your attention. I'm getting like agita right now. So Christine Lagargoyle, the gargoyle herself, it came out today downgrading the economic growth forecast that she said we were supposed to have, but now it's being downgraded because, you see, they don't know how to tell the truth. All they do, these people, these freaks, okay, they string the public along. The public's not that stupid. I have tens of thousands of European friends. That's the truth. And I hear from them all the time. Greg, they say to me, Greg, you think things were bad over there? You got to come over here and check it out. I mean, look, we got gargoyles, we got mummies and freaks running the entire show. So what else? What else here? Now, I wrote this too. I want you to be aware of more here. Even more trouble for the banks. Now, let's talk about that a little bit. Because you and I, again, look, I love saying this, and I'm going to keep saying it. I don't give a damn because, whatever. We can toot our horns a little bit sometimes because you and me called this before anybody else. Me.
Hold on there. Pimpy's been talking about this now for years. I'm on the same page. I can brag about the same thing you do.
Mainstream media and or otherwise, the problems with these institutions here. But understand what they're going to do. They're going to bury this stuff here through the selection cycle here. Oh, yeah, you're not supposed to know that there are bank runs going on right now. People are pulling their cash out of these institutions faster than ever. But I'll tell you the unfortunate part of this.
You heard that, bank runs, and I've been warning you once again about bank runs. This is why I do not keep my money in the bank. It's in precious metals that I keep locked away in safe places.
This is a two-sided coin. What people are doing here is pulling their cash, again, out of these smaller institutions, smartly so. Some people are getting caught on the wrong side, but then they're putting their cash into the mega banks. The mega banks are getting stronger. Now, I want to read this to you real quick, and I want you to pay attention. This is really, really important. And I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna read something to you, this right here, and I'm gonna ask you a question. It's almost like a test, like in school. Something is missing. I'm gonna give you a clue. What I'm going to read to you here, this is Reuters. Something is missing. I want to see if you can pick up on it, right? Because it was the first thing that came to my head. Let's see if it comes to your head. All right, here we go. So Reuters, the credit rating agency Moody's said today that it was downgrading its outlook for the banking sector in a number of European countries as weak economies erode profits. It changed the outlook from negative to stable for the banking sectors of Germany, Britain, France, and Belgium. Lovely. The Netherlands and Sweden.
Those countries are pretty much on lockdown. The mainstream media is not covering this, but they have farmers, fishermen, taxi drivers, all protesting these countries and locking the entire country down, blocking all traffic. So I don't know how they could come up with the numbers that they do, saying that it's been upgraded from, was it good to fair or whatever it is? There's no upgrade. The countries are worse off now than they ever were before.
Going down the toilet. That's not what's missing. Okay. Rising losses for unpaid loans and higher funding costs will chip away profits, Moody's had said. A deteriorating operating environment, thank you, Todd, with low economic growth. Wait a minute, low economic growth and higher inflation? I thought these things were getting better.
Yeah, I told you can't believe what they say. They talk out of both sides of their mouths. What do they say under Biden? Oh, man, the best economy ever, blah, 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 blah. It's all bullshit.
These are going to hit credit growth as well as loan performance in the largest European countries. What's missing from here? Did you hear it or did you not hear it? The United States. They will not talk about what's happening here because, you see, we are a beacon. The United States is a shining light. Can't you see it? Oh, coming down. You got to be freaking kidding me. We are in the worst shape of them all. The worst shape of them all by exponents, in case you don't know. But you see, you can't know that because this is a selection cycle. People, you can't make it up. But there you go. Now, I want to cover a couple of other things. Look, before we do that, let's just throw an eye back on the freak show market. Again, record high for the S&P 500. No surprise, this market's going much higher. You're watching the 10-year yield. Who's buying all the debt? Well, all of you here, every single one of you, is way smarter than Greg Mannarino is. I can promise you that. You're watching the 10-year yield like me. Drop, 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 bang, 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 bang. Who is buying the debt? Again, you know how this works. The 10-year yield drops when debt is being bought. There's a big entity out here with an enormous amount of firepower, right, Lou? Lou Diamond 84, thank you. Buying a lot of debt. We were at 4.3 and change just like last week. All of a sudden, we're just dropping like a rock. Yes, some of this is the expanding war. And you and I covered it. We said, watch what's going to eventually happen. You know, this thing is going to expand. There's a little bit of safety here. People fleeing to the perceived safety of debt. But there's also something else going on. This isn't just that. This is some other entity, and I'm going to give you one guess who it is who's buying the debt here, because this mechanism is why the S&P 500 hit a record high today. People, there's no secrets here. You all know this. You're all watching it like me, and you're saying, watch what's going to happen. Record, record, record. Yeah, we had that little sell-off the other day. I bought. You bought. A lot of you guys wrote to me, bought on that dip. It wasn't enough. I wish we felt more. But again, how can that happen when you have this mechanism where you have a monster out here buying epic sums of debt? Do you see what's going on here? Anyway, with that, as I said, 10-year yield cratering. Let's see where that goes. Maybe we'll get below 4. You got the dollar today. The dollar index now well below 103. The Dixie falling about 0.53% today. Crude oil didn't, a little pressure here, but not too much. Gold and silver quarter bid. Cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, they're doing well. Bitcoin is trying for another run, people. Watch what's happening here with Bitcoin. I keep getting questions about it, and I am sorry if I don't answer you individually, okay? But because I cover it here. I already said what's going on. Bitcoin is making another run, and it could bump up against resistance again and come back. It's going to take a big push to shove Bitcoin above the recent high. And then we'd like to see it climb a little over that, make a nice little pullback, form a new floor, and go up. That's where it's going to go eventually here. Now, speaking about Bitcoin, let me show you a big, lovely piece of propaganda. Oh, yeah, I already told you this. Did you want to see the gargoyle? Yeah. Do we look alike? No, no. Keep this in mind because I want to talk to you about that in a moment. Okay. Now, before we get to the gargoyle again, who just European, the European economy is in shambles like everything else is. We're coming apart worldwide. So this is just a piece of propaganda I wanted to discuss with you. So Wall Street, listen to this. Wall Street is divided on whether Bitcoin is frothy and will undo Fed's rate cut plans. Keep this in mind, what I'm about to tell you. If you took, and I talk about this a lot, the entire market cap of cryptocurrencies worldwide, you took it all, and you put it in a big, lovely pile over here. It's about the same size as Apple, Microsoft, one of these. Microsoft is actually bigger with like over $3 trillion market cap. The entire market cap is about 2.6 trillion. And whatever Bitcoin does has nothing to do with the Fed is going to do. And that goes back to the gargoyle. The gargoyle. What is that? Clever Custom. Thank you. What is that? What is this? What is this? Anyway, I want to talk about this. All right, you and I, what do we know is going on? What has been going on? Well, what seems like 1,000 years. Central banks, none more so than this one, the European Central Bank, and the Federal Reserve, work in concert. Now, what have we been talking about? June, May, June. I've been kind of zeroing on June, but I've been saying May, June. This is when it's going to happen. And whatever comes out of the Federal Reserve's mouth or our so-called policymakers, they only work for the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank, obviously, too. Whatever comes out of their mouth, understand what I'm going to tell you, please, okay? They are not data dependent. The Federal Reserve is on a fixed pathway. So is this, okay? Why? And I've been telling you this repeatedly. They already have the economy by the throat. That was goal one. Goal two, take the consumer down with it, but continue to inflate. Find a reason, another reason, make it up out of anything here, okay, to inflate. Now, again, how does the central bank, how does the gargoyle here cut rates? Does she just say, hey, look at me, I'm hot and sexy, I'm going to cut rates? How does she do it? How does it happen? How does the central banker do this? By printing cash, epic sums out of nothing and getting into the market and buying the debt. Hence, like what you're seeing right now with the 10-year yield dropping. Do you understand? People have no conception of this. They believe, maybe because they're too naive to do their own research into this here. But they're not magical. Central banks were not sent from heaven nor hell. Okay, these entities here, they run it all. And it's greed and it's corruption that brings down has throughout history, people, brought down every single so-called civilization here. And what we're seeing now is the same thing. But this time, they got a bunch of super elite people who are pulling all the strings. It's a handful of people who run the world. A handful, literally. And they do not have our best interest in mind. But you see, you and I, we know what they want. We know what their plan is. And it can't be stopped. It can't be stopped. The next freak who's put behind the Resolute desk is going to make sure one thing happens. You want to hear what that one thing is? The 1% and 2%ers get richer than they are now. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, like Craig, he's a little crazy. I will leave the link to that video so you can watch the full video. But look, this is something I've been talking about now for a while myself. You can't believe the numbers. You can't believe the data that is being shared. You can't believe the hype. You can't believe our media. You can't believe our government. They're all part of the same evil coin. The one thing you can believe and trust in is gold and silver in your possession, outside of the system. Anyways, let me know what you think. I look forward to your comments, and I'll catch you later. I'm out.